So I've taken a bit of a break from Hearthstone, but there's a new format coming out in Hearthstone called Standard in a couple of months. So that piqued my interest again, so I made a standard deck. So this is it. It is called an Implock, and so far it's done pretty well. I have deck tracker stats, but so far I think it's 10 and 3 at rank 5. Oh no, not rank 15. Rank 12. Let's double check that. Yeah, rank 12. But I think that's a bit high. I think I've been getting a little bit lucky, but regardless, I still think its win rate maybe about 65%. I have used only this deck in this ranked season. I've only been playing for about 5 days, and I started at rank 22 to rank 12. I've done more than the 12 games that I've tracked, but you know, it's definitely been good so far. So I'll go over the specifics of the deck real quick. So it's sort of like a zoo mid-range control deck. I know that sounds weird, and you're probably thinking that's not possible, but I'll explain. So it has some early game. It can compete with zoo decks and aggro decks in the early game because it has these Flame Imps, the Dark Peddlers, the Knife Jugglers, and the bosses and the Imp Masters. It has good mid-range because it has these Defender of Arguses, these Anubis Sentinels, and the Azure Drake. And then it has really good, not really good control. It has some later game because it has Sea Giant, and then it has control because it has these controlling type cards with Mortal Coil and Demon Fire, and also the cards you can get from Dark Peddler. Now, I'll go over each card individually here, and we'll see how that goes. So, we have the Mortal Coil. This works really well with the Kobold Geomancer and the Azure Drake because it gets spell damage and it makes it really powerful. Then we have Power Overwhelming, which works very well with Void Terror, and it can be used as a finisher for some burst damage. And it also works very well with Shadow Flame as a board clear. Then we have the Flame Imps. These work well with Demon Fire because it's a demon, and it helps in the early game, and it can also be used as a 5 mana board clear when you play Flame Imp and then use Shadow Flame on it. And then, Demon Fire works really well with all the demons, obviously. It works exceptionally well with Imp Gang Boss because it gives it more health and therefore it can spawn more imps. And also, it has the versatility of being able to be used as just a removal card. And it becomes even better as a removal card when you combo Kobold Geomancer with it. Then we have Dark Peddler. Dark Peddler lets you discover a 1-cost card, so you can get any of these. You can get Soulfire, Power Overwhelming, Corruption, and all the normal 1-drops, and neutral 1-drops, I should say. And you can use that as a 3-drop, which I really like, or you can just use it as a 2-drop, or you can use it to draw into some burst to end the game. Then there's Knife Juggler. Knife Juggler works very well with Imp Gang Boss and Imp Master because these guys summon other guys, and therefore he throws more knives. And he's also an early game threat, which is really good, so people usually try to remove this as soon as it's played. Then there's Kobold Geomancer. Now, Kobold Geomancer is almost in every way worse than Blood Mage Thalnos, but sadly I don't have him and he's a legendary. So if you have Blood Mage Thalnos and you want to play this deck, use him. I mean, it's not in every way worse, because it has 1/1 more in stats, but you don't use this guy for the stats, you use him for the spell damage. Then we have Demon Wrath. Now, Demon Wrath can hit your own guys a lot of the time, but it's a very cheap and efficient removal spell, not removal spell, board clear. So it can fight against aggro decks if you don't happen to draw the early game. And if you have imps or demons, it doesn't really damage them at all, so it's a very good AoE if you have demons on board. Then we have Brand Bronzebeard. This guy's a really good card because he combos with so many battle cries. There's Dark Peddler, Void Terror, which actually works, so I'll get into that in a second, Defender of Argus, and Azure Drake. Maybe a few more. No, I think I got them all. It does combo with this guy, but you should never, you don't want to deal 6 damage to yourself. But as I was saying, it works very well with Void Terror because he does it twice. So one cool combo is, like, it's not unusual to get like a 20/20 Void Terror because you can, let's say you just play like a Flame Imp, and then, or let's say you have a Flame Imp, then you can put a, where is it, a Power Overwhelming on it, and then you use Void Terror on it when Brand's on board, and it eats that minion twice. So it gains like, it gains a lot of stats. Anyway, then is that Brand, then there's Earthen Ring Farseer. Now this guy's subbed for Antique Healbots. Antique Healbots won't be in Standard, so therefore it's not in this deck, but in most situations it's actually better than an Antique Healbot because you can heal these cards that summon more minions. So like if the game boss has 1 health left, you heal it back up and it can summon 3 more imps. If the Imp Master has 1 more health, you heal it back up, it can summon 3 more imps. And also if you have Bram Bronzebeard, you can heal 6 to yourself, which works just about as well as a heal bot. Then there's Imp Gang bosses. Imp Gang bosses can sometimes win you game very early on if you put a Demon Fire on them because it makes them a 4/6, and it's really powerful 4/6 because it summons a 1/1 every time it gets damaged. Then there's the Imp Master. Now, Imp Master is not as powerful as the Imp Gang boss, but it works very well with Knife Juggler because when you play it, it summons 2 minions right off the bat. Knife Juggler throws 2 damage. And it also works well with health buffs generally. Defender Vargas buffs health, so it works with Defender Vargas. Then there's Void Terror, as I was saying with Bram Bronzebeard, it does that. It works well when you Power Overwhelming something, and then you can eat that Power Overwhelming and keep the stats. Then there's Shadow Flame. Shadow Flame is the other board clears in this deck. You use Power Overwhelming on a low-cost minion, Shadow Flame, clear everything. You can also use Shadow Flame on the Anubiseth Sentinels, and then they will give you the 3/3 as well, so it's a pretty good one. Oh, Void Terror also works very well with Anubiseth Sentinel, because on turn 8, it's essentially, if you just play Anubiseth Sentinel and Void Terror on turn 8, it's essentially a 8 mana 10/10. It's an 8 mana 10/10, which isn't bad, but usually you have stuff on board, so it's like a 8 mana 7/7 plus 3 attack you can use immediately if the 3/3 lands on a minion that can attack. Then you have Azure Drake, good combos with Mortal Coil and Demon Fire, some late game card draw, which is nice. And then there's Sea Giant, and if you can get the Zoo type effect from your deck easily, you can play Sea Giants early, or you can wait till the late game to play them to kind of seal the game. So those are all the cards, and I'll go further into how it's Zoo-like first. So the specific cards that make it Zoo-like are Imp King Boss, Imp Master, and these early game cards here. So it can keep up with it, as I said before, and it can sometimes even do better than it. And then it's sort of mid-range because you have these Defender of Arguses, which again by themselves do not work, but you should never have nothing on the board. If you have nothing on the board, you're playing the deck wrong, or you're just losing. And, Defender of Argus, good mid-range card. Then you have Anubiseth Sentinels, which in and of itself is a good mid-game card because it's a 4/4. And then it can also carry you into the late game with the +3/+3 in stats. So that's sort of mid-range to late game card. And what this does overall, also Sea Giant is mid-game, late game as well. And what this does overall, it has less early game than Zoo aggro decks, but more late game than those. It has less late game than mid-range, but more early game than mid-range. So what this does is it allows the deck to put in some extra cards such as Mortal Coil, Demon Fire, which help it kind of control. It also allows you to put in Shadow Flame and Demon Wrath. So it can control mid-range decks and early game decks if you don't draw the early game cards. So that's that. And yeah, that's essentially all there is to the deck. I'll play a game now. There's not very many bad matchups to this deck. I mean, I would guess that Freeze Mage is a bad matchup because this deck's very board-centric, and Freeze Mage is very anti-board. But I haven't actually played a Freeze Mage.
Your soul shall be mine. I am your nightmare.
Alright. I'm gonna reroll these. I'm gonna keep Imp Gang Boss, although I might want to reroll it to try and get a Flame Imp, because it's very likely I'm gonna get a 3-mana card. So I will reroll that as well. Okay. Another cool thing about Bran is that he's a good 3-drop as well. He's very threatening, so people usually use a big removal spell on him, which is great because this card does have other cards that would be threatened by big removal spells, such as Sea Giant.
The light protects me.
Alright. So I'm probably going to play Imp Master over Bronzebeard, because Imp Master will make Knife Juggler throw 2 knives. Although it looks like Knife Juggler is going to die.
Put this apple on your head.
Get in there and fight, maggot.
Okay, so I'm probably still going to want to play Imp Master here. I say that because I have Demon Fire, and if he doesn't kill that, I can buff it and then kill that, that Knife Juggler.
Why do you call?
Okay. Well, I think I might play another Imp Master. I don't know, this board isn't too threatening. It's only 6 damage. And then I do have a board clear if things get crazy. So it's between Bran Bronzebeard and Imp Master. Bran Bronzebeard will be a threat, and I'm sure he'll trade into it, which I don't necessarily want, so I'm going to play Imp Master. I don't expect this Imp Master to survive next turn, so I am going to use an attack off of it. It'll lower its health and therefore make it so it can't spawn it'll spawn 1 less Imp, but I don't think that matters. As you see, this is 1 cheap Sea Giant.
The light protects me.
Maybe it'll get a good combo with Shadow Flame. So next turn I might do Bran Bronzebeard Sea Giant or Bran Bronzebeard Demon Fire, depending on how threatening his board is. Or maybe I'll Shadow Flame, but I don't really want to Shadow Flame open his Nerubian Egg.
I wonder.
And another impressive thing about this deck is that it's a standard deck, as I said before, and I don't think I explained what standard it is, but what it is going to do is it's going to remove 2 expansions from the game. It'll put them into a different game mode. So generally the standard format will have the decks will be less powerful than the other format that'll let you use all the decks, so maybe this will be cool. Okay, right now would not be a bad Shadow Flame. Only problem is I want to play more, but I think I'm going to have to Shadow Flame here. And just to reiterate, because I don't know if I said it, is the power levels of the decks I'm currently playing is going to go down because they won't have all their cards, but this deck will have all of its cards, so it'll do even better against these decks once the expansion comes out. Alright. Let's see what we get. Demon Wrath. Let's see what we get. Flame Imp. Flame Imp's a nice draw, because it's essentially a 5/4. Now I'm sure he has a... He might not have a Mortal Coil, so it might be worth playing Flame Imp Demon Fire. Or I can do... Yeah, I need to play Flame Imp before I Bran. I'm still a little bit behind in this game, but we'll see how it goes.
Buying or selling.
He might get a Soulfire here, and that'll be very bad. A Soulfire is a 1 mana, deal 4 damage to anything. Discard a card. Looks like he didn't get it. Ah, that's not nice. How much damage he has? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He has 9 damage. If I play a Sea Giant... Oh. I didn't actually mean to play a Sea Giant. I was gonna do Bram Bronzebeard Imp Gang Boss, but... I don't think it's gonna matter. Because I think I'm gonna die, but... Yeah. I think that's lethal for him. That's definitely lethal. Alright. I'll play one more game. Yeah, so I think last game I was just screwed over by the fact that I drew both the giants. I actually think it's pretty unlucky that I didn't draw any of my... Which I don't think I drew any of my 2s or 1s. I don't remember. Oh well, let's see.
Gul'dan versus Jaina.
You asked for it.
Your soul shall be mine.
This deck really likes going second. At least, I like going second. Maybe I shouldn't, I don't know. So I'm going to keep both of the 2s, so on turn 1 I can coin one of them out. If this is a Tempo Mage, I'll want that, and if it's a Mech Mage, I'll also want to do that. If it's a Freeze Mage, well, I guess we'll see. Again, I've never fought one of those, so... I'll probably want to coin out... Yeah, probably want to coin out the Knife Juggler. Even though it does just die to the Zombie Chow. If he has an answer to the Zombie Chow, I'm in a bad position. Okay. Hero power, please. That'd be nice. That's alright for me, too.
Buying or selling.
This is actually interesting. It's between Power Overwhelming and Tournament Attendee. If I had a Power Overwhelming in hand, I might actually take the Stone Tusk Boar so I can have a 5 charger. Honestly, I'm going to take the Tournament Attendee. It's not as good of a card as the Power Overwhelming, but I'm probably not going to play the Power Overwhelming over the duration of the game unless I get behind. And I don't want to be behind, so that's why I'm not taking it. Okay, did he play that? Or was that the... Okay, that was created by Unstable Portal. Interesting. I can tap Tournament Attendee that forces him to Hero Power. One of them. Or I can just play Imp Master, which gives me the most power. Actually, no, I think I'm gonna do this.
Eyes are open. Deal.
I do that because he can't ping it, and therefore he's probably going to trade it with that, and next turn I'll play Defender of Argus, and this will become a 4-4, and it'll be able to deal 4 damage easily, unless it dies, which it's going to die. Yeah. Okay. I could really use a board clear. But maybe not. Okay. Can I kill anything here? I can Defender Vargas, that gets 2 attack, that gets 2 attack. And I can kill that, but that's not very good. If he has like a polymorph or a big removal spell, that's gonna lose me the game if I play Sea Giant. Same with Anubis Sentinel. Defender Vargas seems like the best play. Maybe I can tap and Demon Fire. He's gotta have a removal spell. So I'm gonna do this.
My shield for Argus.
Question is, do I want to kill that? I mean, it has the best stats, but it's not as threatening as these. I'll kill the more threatening one, because if he has a spell and it becomes 3 damage, then it threatens this guy. I mean, he has another one, so it doesn't really matter, but I'll kill one when I can. So he's got to have Flame Strike on turn 7. At least I'd think he does. Like, this card's gonna be gone when Standard rolls around. Or, it won't be gone, but it won't be in Standard, because Standard is removing, like, it'll only use the basic set, and the classic set, and the most recent expansion. Or most recent 2 expansions, or something like that. I don't know exactly. Alright, so here, I can ooh. If I Demon Fire that, Defender Vargas that, okay, that's actually pretty good.
My shield for Argus. The breach.
Alright. I'm still behind a little bit, I think. But now if he Flame Strikes this turn, it won't be that bad, because it's only killing 2 minions.
What to do? What to do?
The light does not discriminate.
That card will also be gone. Alright, I could just play a Sea Giant, but it's still playing from behind. I can play Anubis Sentinel, but you know, I'm gonna tap. It's fairly good. So if I play that, he essentially has to kill the other ones. I mean, it's a 9-mana board clear if I save it for Shadow Flame. So I might just play Imp Gang Boss and do this. If that's Mirror Entity, yeah, I can Shadow Flame it. That's actually pretty good for me. If you don't know what it does, there you go. Yeah, it's good for me because I don't really have any spells in my hand. Thank God this card's not going to be in Standard. In my opinion, it's one of the most overpowered cards. The Mage Secrets are 3 mana, so therefore it's like a 2 mana, 2/2 worth of stats. So, you like play a 3/3 card for free. Alright. I don't think he'll be able to do much if I play... I need to think here, because if he has another Mirror Entity from the Mad Scientist, I won't really have a minion I want to give him. So I can just play Sea Giant. Then he can't do much. Or I can... Let's tap. Okay. Let's play this. Come on, give me a 2 mana card. Not quite. I think this was the better play, because if he had a Polymorph, I would have gotten a Polymorph myself. So he has 3, 4, 5. So he can do 6 damage to me. So I might just really want to threaten him. I can play double Sentinel. Or I can play Sentinel and Sea Giant. That looks better. And then kill that, probably. Then he pings that. Okay. My health's getting a bit low here. Still a very close game. And when I say ping, I mean uses the 1 damage from his hero power. Alright, so I'm gonna play Brambon's Beard here. If it's Mirror Entity, that'll be good for me. Alright. Now what board clear? I don't think Mage has very many easily, like, full board clear, so I'm gonna play the other Sea Giant. Actually, first I should play the Dark Peddler to see what I get. And, ooh, Taunt or Voodoo Doctor? If I can keep clearing his board, Voodoo Doctor's better. Because it plays around, double Fireball. No, it doesn't. Not at this point, but it could play around double Fireball. Oh, never mind, it does, because I forgot I had Brand. Double Fireball is 12 damage for 8 mana, and if it didn't heal me twice, it would, you know, not put me at that. It only put me at 13, and then, because he only had 8 mana, he'd still be able to use the hero power here. I think this Cho might win me the game. I don't know. It looks like he does have double Fireball, though. Maybe. So I cannot tap. Or use my hero power, I should say. I chose this Soulfire over the other cards because it's some burst damage, which I might need to kill him here. Do I win next turn? I mean, yeah. I don't even need to count that to know that I do. If he doesn't clear anything. Boy, he's digging. I don't know if there's anything he can do. Well, there's that. Ooh, Shadow Flame. Alright, let's calculate this. So I can hit here. And then Shadow Flame. So that... Then I can... Alright. And then I can use my 2/4 to kill the second thing. And then I can use Soulfire to kill it. I probably should have counted, but I'm pretty sure it's lethal. Yeah. So yeah, that's that. Pretty nice.